Hello everyone and welcome to the 25th Java tutorial. This one is going to be on the enhanced for loop. The enhanced for loop is basically the for loop that we already know. It's really similar, but it's really good at iterating just through a list. How it works is it indexes through each item in the list, and it starts from the 0 index all the way to the last index. And we know that how the for loop works is you start the index from, say, 0 or any index, and then you can iterate to whatever index that you'd like. So I'm going to show you a quick example of how the enhanced for loop works. So to compare it to the original for loop, we have our index, so we start it, and we usually say I is less than, and we have right here an array of animals. So we'll just use that. So what we would do is say I is less than animals dot length, and we're going to just increment I each time. And then we have some sort of command right here. So just for simplicity, let's just display it. And in a regular for loop, what we would do is just call our array animals, and then use our indexer I to call that element in the index or in the array. And then we'll just add space here. And if we run this, we can see that what it does is it displays the names right there. So it runs through the array with the index. Now the enhanced for loop is really helpful because I don't need to write out this whole for loop. So how the enhanced for loop works is same thing, for, that's the key word, and then inside of the parentheses, the first thing you need is the data type. And since this array is a string array, they are string. So we will do string. The second thing you need in the enhanced for loop is an indexer. I'm going to use I just like I did here. You can use words or variables, it doesn't matter. So I, and then you'd use a colon. And then the next part you have is whatever list that you are trying to iterate through. And for this, we can see that it's animals. So I'm just going to copy and paste that, animals. And then the same thing here, you give it some sort of command. So let's just copy this and have it do the same thing. One thing that is different about this, you'll notice that there is no animals at this index for this enhanced for loop. And the reason is because it knows what list I'm going through. So all you have to do is just put I, whatever index, because how the enhanced for loop works is it goes to whatever list that you're trying to iterate through, and it essentially does this on its own. So I is what you want to display, or whatever this index is. So if we just display I plus the spaces, you'll see it repeated the same thing. Let me put some space here. So you can see with the enhanced for loop, it took a lot less work on our part, and we were able to display the same thing. And remember, so it's for, you have your data type, your index variable, and then whatever list that you want to iterate through. And just remember, with the enhanced for loop, we don't have the option of just doing a portion of the list. It's going to go from the first index, which is 0, all the way to the last index. Whereas if we wanted to only include half of this, we could take that length and divide it by 2. But you don't have that option with the enhanced for loop. It's just for iterating through entire lists, but it can be really helpful if you're trying to add things or remove things or delete things or just move things around. The enhanced for loop can be really nice. Here's another example with a different array. So here I'm going to have an integer array called numbers, and you can see it's 10 all the way down to 1. So for this one, I'm going to create some space on the output. For this one, we're going to do the for loop, the enhanced for loop. And remember, the first thing is the data type. So we need to put integer because that's our data type of this collection of elements, we could call it. Our indexer, our index element, just remember that. You can be whatever. I could call this numbers if I wanted to. It doesn't matter as long as you do that right here. In fact, here we go. We'll just call that numbers. And then right here, we want to call whatever collection or whatever list that we want to iterate through. And right here, remember this one. So this is called numbers. That's the, call it number. This is called numbers. That's the list. And then we need some sort of action. So let's just have it display number. Right here, see that's the index that we're going to iterate through. This is the list, which is right there. This is the data type that needs to be in the enhanced for loop. And then we're just going to display whatever it is at that index of this list. And there you have it. It goes through the list, front to back, first index all the way to the last index. And it doesn't matter what kind of collection you use, doesn't matter what kind of list, as long as you have a data type, you have an index variable, and you have whatever the list or the collection is, you can use the enhanced for loop. And it does a lot more than print out. Like I said, you can add things, delete things, do different things, you can check things. So yep, the enhanced for loop is quite nice and it can make things easy. It's basically built into the Java library and very helpful. So I hope that helped to understand a little bit about the enhanced for loop. Have a great day.